Bend the knee!
Valor Mogolis, everybody. This is Don Willie back again with another video, and this time I'm going to be discussing how Azor Ahai will return in the books. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the books, spoilers for everything from A Game of Thrones all the way up to A Dance with Dragons, because this is something that actually is not really touched on in the show. So, for you guys who are show watchers only, this might not be relevant to you at all. So, ever since the introduction of Melisandre in the second book, we've been hearing about the prophecy of Azor Ahai. And at the end of A Dance with Dragons, we get kind of the culmination of these whole events where Melisandre keeps looking into the flames to get her vision of Azor Ahai, who at the time she thinks is Stannis, but is kind of wavering and thinking that it might actually be Jon Snow. Now, just before Jon Snow was killed by the Night's Watch, he receives a letter supposedly from Ramsay Bolton stating that Stannis has been killed in 7 days of battle. Now, potential Winds of Wind spoilers coming up ahead, so for those of you who have not read any of the upcoming Winds of Winter chapters, I don't want to spoil you guys, so you guys might want to check out here. So, in a preview for the Winds of Winter, we get Stannis's battle plans, and we get some other things through the eyes of Theon and also through the eyes of Asha Greyjoy. And this is actually before the battle between Stannis and the forces of Roose Bolton and the Freys. And as far as we can tell in the book, Stannis will not die as of yet. But here is where I think the whole resurrection of Azor Ahai will take place and how I think it could possibly happen in the books. So, in season 5 of Game of Thrones, episode number 9, The Dance of the Dragons, we get the burning of Shireen Baratheon. Now, in the show, it is supposedly done by Stannis Baratheon in order to gain favor with the Lord of Light, in order to be able to defeat the Bolton army. And unfortunately, this has so many ill-fated consequences for Stannis, and Stannis and his entire family and army are pretty much wiped off the map. And so Melisandre decides to go back to Castle Black and pledge her loyalties to Jon Snow after she resurrects him by praying to the Lord of Light in a similar fashion as Thoros of Myr has done for Beric Dondarrion. It is my belief that after hearing the contents of the Pink Letter and thinking that this is the only way that she can bring back Stannis Baratheon and prove once and for all that everything that she's been seeing in the flames is true, that Melisandre will convince Selyse to burn Shireen in order to bring back Stannis. But in doing so, she will call specifically for Azor Ahai to be resurrected, not Stannis Baratheon. And this is where I think we will get the resurrection of Jon Snow. And if you know anything about the way George titles some of his chapters as of late, it may be that we get a chapter entitled Azor Ahai, and that it is written from a first person perspective in such a way that we're not able to necessarily tell exactly who it is that has been resurrected. If you recall, right now there's actually a battle at Castle Black between some of Stannis' forces that have been stationed there, the Night's Watch, and the Wildlings. And if you're talking about the Battle of Winterfell, obviously at that point you would have Stannis' forces versus the forces of the Boltons and the Freys. And I think that this might actually provide George with a unique opportunity to kind of trick folks a little bit into thinking that Azor Ahai might actually be Stannis Baratheon, and at the end we might get the major reveal with something in terms of he saw a white wolf pass by, or just some kind of hallmark that lets you know specifically that it is Jon Snow and not actually Stannis Baratheon. This is actually an idea I've had running around my head for a little while, And I thought, you know what? Let me put this one down on video and let me get you guys' thoughts on this one. So, yeah, leave in the comments. Do you think that I could be correct in the way that this will play out? Or am I totally off my rocker and need to go back to the drawing board with my thoughts? Anyway, you guys know the deal already. Rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and come back for more. That has been my time, and this is Don Willie saying Valadohiris.